Welcome to my 10-part series that covers the new features of Revit 2015 Release 2. I'm counting down from 10. This is video number 5. Who needs buttons when there are snaps? For all the structural experts out there, you can now place rebar in any 2D view. When you start the rebar tool, a placement plane panel appears on the contextual ribbon. The available options are current work plane, near cover reference, and far cover reference. These options allow you to place rebar in any plan, section, or elevation view. However, the rebar can still only be placed in a valid host. For example, with the floor placed at level 1, you cannot use the current work plane option to place rebar in the floor. The reason is because the rebar would not actually be placed in the floor. It would be on top of the floor. But you could use the near cover reference to place rebar at the floor's top rebar cover, or the far cover reference to place rebar at the floor's bottom rebar cover. If a level or work plane passes through an element, then you can use the current work plane option. Additionally, the snapping capabilities for structural elements has been enhanced. You can now snap to points on model lines when defining structural elements along model lines. Additional snap points are available along model lines for structural framing elements, structural columns, trusses, and isolated foundations. You can also snap to an imported and non-exploded CAD file. And when you place non-hosted loads, you can snap to model lines. There are also several user interface changes on the structural side. First off, when a framing element is selected, a justification panel appears on the contextual ribbon. The Y offset and Z offset tools are now buttons in the panel and no longer appear in a drop-down. Next, the analytical properties for structural elements have been reorganized and regrouped in the Properties palette. Tooltips are also available for the parameters under Structural Analysis. Lastly, the parameters for point loads, line loads, and area loads have been reorganized and regrouped in the Properties palette.